Recorded live from Random Secret Studios, Philadelphia, the Delaware Valley, and even the Midwest.
I'm McCapo. He's the Prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the pod. Gentlemen, welcome back to Sons of Ben, the pod. This is episode number 37. It's the Eric Desjardins episode.
Dun, dun, dun,
Do I keep going? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, you were supposed to finish that. That was a seamless transition of that's fine. We'll work on it in post. Devin, edit that. That's fine.
Well, as we're doing transitions, guys, remember beer of the pod. I think everyone's got one in their hand. We got Yards. I've got a 2SP in my hand, and of course the Larimer. So remember the people that take care of us. Make sure we take care of them. And speaking of beer, the board voted on a name last night. We're not going to say it because we're going to wait for our partners to release it. But I want to thank everybody out there. Because of you all, we had over 190 beer submissions. So yeah, on a Monday night, the board had to go through 190 names. Some of y'all are clever, and some of y'all don't listen to instructions. But
were they redundant? Were there some overlaps?
There was a few overlaps, but surprisingly not as much as you'd think. But there was
so they had to do like 180 names basically.
Yeah, probably with the redundancy it was like 170 or something. But and then there was different versions of Fang Serum. Yeah, not the other word. But that's going to be announced. It's brewing next week, so stay tuned here for word. And viewing parties tomorrow night. Cincinnati, Larimer, Westchester, Zed's out in South Jersey. We've got some viewing parties, and let's just keep this thing rolling. Drunken Union Zoom, guys. Friday nights. Adam and I were on last Friday, and the natives are feeling good, man. Everybody's feeling pretty good. And Devin, your time to shine, buddy. SOB the Discord. What do we got?
SOB Discord. So first, all right. Here's my advertisement for the Discord this week. We were having a conversation there, and I want you guys to weigh in on this. So it would seem with Mr. Gio Reyna's start and goal over in Dortmund, I'm sure you guys saw that. It would seem that Mr. Brendan Aronson would be fighting Mr. Reyna for a spot in the U.S. men's national team. What do you guys think about that? Who you got?
I love Brendan Aronson.
Is there a loser in that except for anybody that plays against the U.S. men's national team? I mean,
is it Brendan Aronson?
No, I don't.
No, it's not. That's my way in. Look, I do not think.
I love Brendan, right?
Yeah,
I do believe Brendan should be in the 18 for the United States of America when the time comes. Right now, Gio is playing over there and doing that.
Yeah.
And when Brendan goes over there and does that, then we can have that same kind of conversation.
Which,
but
hey,
now,
things have been.
And he might be there tomorrow.
Slowly heating. I don't even want to say they're heating up, because I don't think they're heating up, but they are slowly.
They're at a consistent level of heat now. It's a high level of heat, but it's consistent.
Do yourself a favor. Get a little countdown clock for October 5th. Because that's when the signing window is over, correct? October 5th, am I right in that?
This is the longest signing window in the history of signing windows.
Well, it's also been the longest year in the history of the world, too, so...
I don't know, man. It's almost October.
October 2020, 2020, like this...
So that being said, I will shout out the prediction winner for last week. One winner with the 4-1 prediction, Mr. Evan C., who has been basically getting the score right almost every week and is currently going to be top of the leaderboard there. So doing very good over there. Get over there and get your predictions in.
Evan, turn over Biff's almanac, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Give back the time machine to Doc. He needs it to rediscover the West and help Portland discover soccer.
See, Matt, I can do old references too.
That's my man. You are learning under the master, my friend. You are learning under the master. All right, guys, we've got a little Union MLS news, and I'm just going to start with this. MLS is MLSing again because the schedule came out. I don't want to go on a rant. I'll let you guys go on a rant, but how many times do we have to play fucking New England? Are we ever going to play NYUFU? I mean, I'm glad that we don't have to go down to Orlando because I don't want anybody catching COVID. But I would love for them to come up here so we could whoop their ass. But we got to play Toronto 85 times. We got to play New. This is like playing like the PIAA schedule. Like, thanks, Don. You suck.
What's the difference between chartering to Cincinnati and chartering to Nashville, or even if you want to say Portland or LA? What's that, like? We're not getting on a plane with other people. We're taking a charter flight out there.
Jay's accountant just told me. He said, "Hey, wise ass, that's about 200 gallons of gas. It ain't your credit card bill. We're going to Cincinnati."
Question, real quick. How the hell did Montreal get to Vancouver? When Montreal and Toronto and Vancouver are having their round robin tournament, did they not go to Vancouver?
Correct.
So we have the knowledge that a airplane can take an MLS soccer club roughly 2,000 to 3,000 miles east and or west, given the need, right?
I don't want to correct you, but in Canada, it's all kilometers, so it's a whole different thing.
You. I'm going to, again, another reason I'm going to come up to Callow Hill and throw hands later.
I'm in Fairmount, man. I'm in the upper level. I'm not Callow Hill.
Oh my God. Those are like people who are like, I'm in Manioc, not Roxborough. I'm like, I'm going to fight all of y'all. So here's what I'm going to be real with you. It doesn't really bother me that much because everyone in the East Coast are scrubs. And the Union have proven, here's the thing. That game against Cincinnati means nothing to me because it was a fluke goal that they won that on. It's Columbus. That game against Columbus means nothing to me because that was a fluke goal that they beat us on. Everyone else in the I-95 corridor is trash. And this will help the Union secure top seedings, and they can bulldoze their way through to their first MLS Cup of all time. Like, look, this is how this season ends. The Union won the MLS Cup this year. This is how this season ends. And you know why this is how this season ends? Is because they are better than pretty much everyone. Like all the teams that they said that they weren't supposed to be better than, the ones that we've played, we showed that we are good enough against. The ones that we haven't played, I haven't been impressed by. The only other team in North America that I think can really hold against the Union might be Seattle. And I'm still not even 100% sure about that. It might just be Diaz. It might just be him on an island by himself. This team is going to win MLS Cup, and it's going to happen because they kept throwing scrubs in front of the Union the whole time to eat food against, and that's why they're just going to eat points the whole way. Here's the thing. Realistically, because of statistical probability, the Union might lose a couple of these matches. But in my mind, as a person who just thinks about soccer as a vacuum, they should not lose a single match for the rest of the regular season. And that's the honest to goodness truth about that.
That is a bold statements over there from Adam Booth.
Sorry.
Union are going to win MLS Cup.
I'm tired.
They're going to win out the rest of the regular season.
No.
So I'm not going to
say they're going to win out, but they should. Is what I'm saying.
You look at that schedule. As much as we bitch, like, okay, does Columbus worry me a little bit with their style? Yeah. Am I as a native Philadelphian who can never totally embrace a team and that we're so good and we're gonna roll through the season? You always think of the pitfalls. Do I honestly worry about Bruce Arena in New England? Yeah, at some point he's gonna do something that you're like, but no, we should have a very favorable result as of this schedule. As much as I'm crying about we're playing everybody again, like Don Garber might have done us a favor. I can't believe he did it on purpose because he's never done us a favor except for giving us a team. But yeah, so yeah, we should be rolling right into playoff time in November, Devin.
Just look at the schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Even negative Devin has got to say we're rolling. Come on, Devin, say it.
Yes,
say the words. We're rolling.
just tell me who we lose to. Tell
I-
tell me from this schedule, who do you look at and you say the Union are inferior to?
Here's my thing. I said previously on the podcast, like, yes, I understand we have to forego some things just to be able to have a season, and there's stipulations to all this. I understand that, but first of all, 10 out of the 14 teams in the East are getting into the playoffs. It really doesn't freaking matter.
Oh, seeding matters.
It does
You know they're
not
going to
matter.
screw up the seeding. It matters.
That
No.
being said,
If you look at the- sorry.
Why is this the way it is? I just like, why can we not just have Western teams play Eastern teams? And I understand when you start getting into that, you're gonna start saying, okay, well now the whole favorability is all off because now you have two conferences play each other. But still, what's the difference between that and this?
let me
I-
shed-
I,
let
I
me
would
sh-
rather. I'd rather the Union go out and play a Portland and play an LA and play Real Salt Lake than keep on playing Montreal, New England, and everybody else we've already played twice.
Let me shed a little light into that before we move on. And here's the only thing I can think of, and I don't have any inside knowledge, but because of COVID, because of everything going on, the MLS wants every team to a charter flight, which, the teams are like, oh, that's expensive. Thanks a lot. We didn't have to do all this. And two, they don't want them staying overnight. So they're basically flying out. Now, Canada is different because their whole numbers were different. So I'm sure they could stay in Vancouver or in Montreal or in Toronto. But I have a feeling the MLS and the Players Association, because remember that collective bargaining, they're probably like, okay, this has got to be day trips. So even though, yeah, you could go to Portland, play, fly back out, like with weather and everything else, that's a 2-day trip, or you're killing somebody because you're flying out, flying back. Like, that's a toll on the body. I think that's
Okay.
why there's not
I get
West
that.
Coast, East Coast. That's my only
I
thing.
get it.
I don't understand why you can't go up and down the East Coast, why, the Midwest. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of, and that's probably not just the league. It's probably the Players Association. I'm sure Bedoya doesn't want to go play Seattle, not spend the night, and then come back.
That's
so,
Well,
understood.
all right. Well, how long does it take for you to fly from Miami to Philadelphia?
well, I said I don't understand the East Coast part.
Yeah, because I
You
mean,
know,
like that's
I get the
that's
West Coast
roughly
part,
that's
but
roughly a fly to Chicago.
It's 3-4 hours.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm saying.
It's the same
so-
time zone. It's not. It doesn't f with your body the way
Sure.
changing,
Sure,
and going out
sure.
to Colorado screws your body, because I wouldn't want a 1-day trip to Colorado where guys can't acclimate to
Yeah.
the climate, the altitude, or I wouldn't want them going.
That's
out
the
to
same thing with
Dallas.
Miami. I mean, essentially,
yeah.
that's the same thing with Miami because, like,
Yeah.
I have Caribbean-based family, and they all the time will come from down there, come to America, and get instantaneously sick. Like, not
Yeah.
even like off the plane, they're already sick because of just the drasticness of climate. Fun fact: humans weren't really supposed to be able to travel this quickly between distances, so our bodies were never really meant to be going between like the Alps and like sunny Florida in like a 4-minute period. That was like we were never meant to do that, so we
Yeah,
react
Elon
really
Musk,
badly.
stop screwing with shit.
No, I'm still
All
going to
right.
space. Screw you.
Let's get into the real deal, because that's just our we're spitballing on that one. But
I'm just ranting. That's all.
speaking of ranting, on Sunday night, your Philadelphia Union played the New Jersey Impact. And during that game, I got to see Adam Booth see red. Adam, would you like to tell the audience, when you were at the Lammer, why were you running back and forth across the parking lot, seething in anger?
Okay, so, man, all right. In 2020, I realized like VAR exists, and I really need to like take that into account. But homeboy elbows Mark McKenzie like he's in the third verse of a Ludacris concert. Like he legitimately takes an elbow and like punches this man in the side of the head with the middle part of his arm, and the man gets a yellow at first, and I'm like, this this can't be a thing in 2020 because so often have the union been screwed by VAR. And I'm not even just saying just the union. I'm saying a lot of MLS clubs this year have been screwed by what is supposed to be the system to perfect the screwing. And I was waiting for this moment for this man to literally throw a bow and only get a yellow card for it. And the fact, and it was so egregious that the amount of time it took for the man to even look in the monitor to determine it was infuriating. Like, just, I'm a fan of a lot of different sports. So I've been watching replay as long as they've had it in the NFL, when they brought it to the NBA, when they implemented it in Major League Baseball, when they put it even in hockey. You know, the challenge system in hockey is ridiculous, but they found a way to make this thing work. And for me, VAR was supposed to be the simplest thing in the universe to me because soccer is so much a game of these inches, but defined inches. Inches that you can be like, yep, that's it, here's the line, that's it. It takes forever for us to figure this out, and we're still getting crap wrong routinely when we have teams of people looking at the same thing that a casual fan can see in their house or at the lovely Laramie in Chester, Pennsylvania.
Now, I will say one thing and one thing only about the red card. I want to thank one Mr. Mark McKenzie for falling over because I know he was bigger, tougher, and sexier than that man that gave him that cheap shot. And in real life, he wasn't going to fall over. He probably would have been like, that all you got? But he did the right thing. He swallowed the man card. He fell over and got the job done. And we got one man off the field. So thank you, Mark. We know you didn't want to do it, but thanks for taking one for the team, buddy. It was great. Now, where I was seeing red, where I was angry, I don't know if you saw this, Devin, but there was one of the most selfish moments in Union history that I've ever seen portrayed by your captain. Did you see this? One Mr. Andrew Wooten traps the ball beautifully, cocks that rocket of a left leg, and Bedoya comes in and steals it and gets a goal. Did you see that garbage? Unbelievable.
Look, man, I love Andrew Wooten, but that's like, homeboy got, one goal as a Union player so far? Alejandro's like, we got shit to do.
My man's got four assists in the last 2
Look,
days.
he could be. Look, actually,
He's the Harris Majujicin.
But wait, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I love about this. This is the Union's conundrum, basically, is. So Casper and Andrew inherently are the same player, correct? Like,
Oh, yeah.
obviously Casper's a
Yes.
better version, but they're inherently the same player. Okay? So in a two-striker system, you kind of want one of them to be a hold-up player while the other one be as a speed player, correct? Like, that's a good
Yes.
way to have that set up. Is Wooten and Santos a better pairing than Shabilko and Santos?
No, not even close. Don't even.
I haven't really
Don't-
seen it. I don't know.
Wooten is not a better player than Casper.
No.
Casper had his little lull. He had his little thing, but he's back now.
I think Wooten is a better passer and holder of the ball.
No, I don't. Casper is a
Listen,
better target in the
If
in
you
the in the
said
box.
that even
correct,
last year,
but-
you'd be incorrect. If you said that 2 years ago, Casper's been a journeyman. I mean, Wooten's proven in Europe. I mean, he hasn't done what we thought he would do, and I've been the biggest cheerleader.
What's your definition of proven in Europe?
Oh, geez, how many
Go
goals
ahead,
did he
go ahead,
have?
sorry.
He's
Wow.
played at the
Yeah.
highest
I'm
stage
kidding.
and
I mean,
has
you look
actually
at- you
done
look
at-
well.
You look at Casper's career, who's been a journeyman, and I dare anybody in Union fandom to tell me when Ernst Tanner brought Casper Shabilko on, people were excited. Basically, they were like, "We got who from what fucking division?" Like, come on. So,
Yeah.
and I love me some Casper. I'm just saying, people are down on Wooten, and I think he's in a tough spot. Of him and Casper fit the same role, so they probably
Andrew
should have
Wooten is
worked
not
together.
Andrew Wooten's not Jay Simpson. Let's just start with that.
Andrew Wooten
not-
is Andrew Wanger either. So
No, he's no. Oh my god, if he's Andrew Wanger, I'm blocking him on Twitter. No, legitimately. And like, here's the thing. I'm not saying this in a negativity towards Shabilko in any capacity. I am just looking at this because we say we're not an X's and O pod, but screw that. I'm X's and O's right now. the Union still have moments where they cannot get consistent goal scoring. Despite the fact that they put up 4 goals the other night, there've been times where the Union, with all that firepower, can't put on their finishing boots. And I'm just saying, Wooten has introduced hold-up play that has allowed other players, including the most obvious version in Bedoya's goal, to get their ball in their space and rocket some shots in. I'm saying Casper's distribution is not on the same levels as Wooten. I'm here to say that right now.
I think the best pair that the Union have is Casper and Sergio.
Without a doubt.
Anything else is
Is it the most efficient?
But we haven't seen anything else because Corey Burke is still in freaking visa hell.
That's what I'm saying. Corey Burke would be the most interesting conundrum because he's
who's the other forward we have? I forget his
Mitchie.
name. Oh yeah. Who?
Mitchie.
Wait, does Jim know his name?
No.
We'll talk about that more later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
So that's one of the things. Like it's unfair, and it's funny that we can bitch about this while watching the Philadelphia Union pile on goal after goal after goal. So it's an embarrassment of riches. So if we're
really
fighting
is.
about if Andrew Wooten is better than Kasper Shabilko, but we're still winning, I'll have that fight every day.
No,
of the week,
again, I am not here to make myself sound like an intellectual ninny. I'm not here to say that Andrew Wooten is a better goal scorer or just a better simple overall player, but I'm saying in the system that we have created, if you're going to run a diamond and you're going to run having a 2-striker system, we were talking about it last pod. We don't got wings anymore, right? We don't got guys who do the overlaps. So hold up play is essential for what we need to do in terms of scoring here. And I'm saying the Union have been very successful putting in goals with Andrew Wooten being a hold-up play. That's all.
Now, and saying that, as we're arguing that, Kasper did score 2. Kasper scored 2. That makes me more hopeful for baby boy Kasper. Going to be born March 2021, joining the academy 8 days later. It's going to be great. That kid's going to be scored before he walks. Oh yeah. Well, we actually talked about it off. That kid, God bless baby Kasper. He's just going to be boom. He's going to score before he's potty trained.
When do Union babies get a Twitter account? We have 4 Union children actively just floating out there right now.
Knowing that kid, he'll have a TikTok. And also, congratulations, Warren. Him and his wife are expecting too.
That's what
this academy is gonna be sick as hell. I feel bad. Richie's gonna go broke, man. That's scholarship. It's I hope Richie's saving the money for these kids because we're gonna have to sign them early. But yeah. Well, Devin, any more thoughts on our game versus the New Jersey Impact?
Nothing for me.
You were happy with the performance at least?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I thought we were gonna move on to the fun part here.
Let's see. Are we ready for Cincinnati tomorrow? Adam and Devin, let's welcome on, as promised, Brian Weigel from the Cincinnati Soccer Talk, which is Cincinnati's a monstrosity of a metropolis's it's CNN and Turner Communications all tied into one for Cincinnati soccer. So, Brian, thanks for joining us, our little tiny podcast to talk some Philly Union versus Cincinnati FC soccer talk. Just give everybody a little background. Your background.
Sure.
You guys host 85 podcasts. You've got a website that probably covers the team more in depth than MLSS.com. So just want to let all of our listeners know what's going on out there.
Well, first off, I'm going to start back at your beautiful intro there for me. You said, "Are you ready for Cincinnati?" Cincinnati's like the bye week for everybody else. They're all we're just going to walk over these guys. They're a glorified USL team. Let's throw our, literally, you could throw, what are you guys now? You're not Bethlehem Steel anymore. You're, Philly Union 2?
Union 2,
U2?
yeah.
Yes.
I do have some.
Bono.
I do have some great memories of Bethlehem Steel, though. That was some fun time. But, yeah, kind of speaking to that, Cincinnati Soccer Talk, I guess there's about 20 of us now across 3 different podcasts, beat writers and such. We started in the USL days, basically as a way, kind of like, the Sons of Ben, to spur people to join and follow the club. That's all we do. If tomorrow, if the people said, we don't need you anymore, I'd stop because that's my goal because we'd have 30,000, 40,000 fans in attendance. So we're here every day through COVID, thick and thin, to make sure that people can follow their club and have an avenue to do that with everything going on. So we love the club. We're a bunch of fans, kind of glorified nerds, I guess you could say, on that front. But yeah, it's a great time, following FC Cincinnati now in Major League Soccer.
And any supporters group that would overlook a team with one Harris Majujujujujujin is just a fool, because that man can hurt you. And I mean you, not us. I mean you.
I still can't spell his name, so.
Try doing chants with that name. Like that was always a fun game when you were just trying to find a way to rhyme anything in the English language with Medunyajan.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness we skipped that this year.
Yeah,
That was a good job.
As you know, Adam's our capo. I'm the president of the Sons of Ben, and we always bust Adam's balls. We're like, what? You can't get a good Harris chant? Come on, that just rolls off the tongue. That should just be like 3 beats on the drum, and it's Harris. But
4 times today, I've gotten tweets or emails saying, "Hey, we have new chants," and I'm like, "Okay, for what? What are we gonna do those at?" I mean, like, I understand we're doing the outdoor Sons of Quarantine, but at the same time, like, no, I'm not gonna drop your new thong song rendition just for the next 3 games we have at home.
I mean, it sounds fun.
yeah. So Brian, you
It's
guys
daunting.
have had kind of an interesting year so far. I mean, and I'm just not even talking on the field. Off the field, you guys have had a little bit of shake up in coaching and front office personnel, and it kind of feels like Union 1.0 when we were going through all of that. So didn't know if you wanted to share anything with.
Well, 2019 had shades of Union 1.0. Clearly, you can draw some comparisons to Jeff Birding and Nick Zakevich, and guy who got the team going and started it along, and then just at the end of the day wasn't the best GM. Fortunately, he's a good businessman and a good leader. Brought in kind of what you guys did with Ernst Tanner. Brought in Gerard Nijkamp. He brought in good old Ron Jans, Uncle Ron Jans, who found himself on the way out by doing some racism. Not very proud of that.
Casual.
Yeah, seriously. But now we have Manchester United legend Jaap Stam as our leader, and literally I feel like this is the first time in 5 years, whether it's been John Harkes, Alan Koch, Ron Jans, that there's been a true vision for what we want to see on the field, and adaptability, and literally putting the guys in the right spots to succeed. So I feel pretty good on that. He's not playing with his players. Gerard Nijkamp has brought some guys in, Harris Majujujujun and Sem de Jong, Jurgen Locadia. There's a lot of good pieces on here now, but you're still working through those MLS roster build errors and mistakes. Of course, we have 8 of your super draft picks from 2019 super draft, whatever that is. So
Super Jimmy McLaughlin.
And we got the Jimmy McLaughlin. Love that guy. Love his family. He's a legend in the club. Unfortunately, he's been hurt, but I think things are on the right path with the new leadership.
And your MVP has got to be the person that does the roster announcements, because I've never seen, unless you're in the Czech Republic, you've never seen a list of names. I'm like, who, what? So, God bless that person doing the home field announcements.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't heard those in person this year, but yeah, it's a roster that, as I said, it was a mix of kind of some Latin American players, and then we've kind of shifted to the European, bringing in a lot of Europeans this year. I think you're going to see some changes back. Don't have a lot of Americans. We've been trading for everybody's international spot, but I think the pieces are kind of getting there, and you'll see some bright spots with it tomorrow. I think, especially with Jurgen Locadia. Joe Zhao, who's a former U.S. men's national team player that we got. Of course, you have the guys like a Greg Garza and Caleb Stanko, who are former U.S. men's national team players, but just haven't really clicked and have been injured. And so we've been fighting past those little errors that we had, but I think you might see a good team line up tomorrow.
Now, the one thing I've found, well, geez, just to say it for our listeners that are going to be interested in this, you guys have a certain co-host that we shared a little history with. Just wanted to know if you had any Mike LaHood stories, because everyone loves a Mike LaHood story.
Oh, Michael Lahoud is the greatest man alive. That's all I got to say. It's been kind of weird transition. Not weird. I guess that's the wrong word, but it's been interesting. You used to critique the guy, and now he's on your set, your group that now analyzes FC Cincinnati, and it's been very exciting to have him involved in breaking down, giving that little professional attitude. We have some college coaches, some college players, but having a guy of his level is incredible. He loves the rosé. I heard he likes drinking margaritas with you guys. He joined us on the show that night, by the way, and that was a hell of a time. But he's a legend in Cincinnati, and we're blessed to have him involved.
Margarita Mike Lahoud is a fan favorite in Philadelphia and will always be. So we definitely want to show him some love. We know he's listening, unless he's told he's not allowed to listen to us anymore because we're a bad influence. But yeah, it's great.
We are
that
a terrible influence.
Yeah, well, I try, So I guess let's get into it. Even though we tout ourselves not as an X's and O's podcast because there are people way more qualified. But we do have somebody that is an X's O's podcast. Let's just get into this now. Devin, who should go first on a little site and predictions? And I think Adam's chomping at the bit for.
He looks ready.
No, I want to hear your. That was the dance to see about what y'all are going to say. No, it's okay.
Adam, we're going with the alphabet. It goes Adam, Brian, Devin, then me. Boom.
That's fine. Okay. That's more than acceptable, I guess.
Stalling.
I know I am. I'm
Stalling.
thinking.
Feeling Adam, come on.
Look, okay.
I
Here's
have
the
Game
to see-
tomorrow,
look.
I have
Okay.
to see what you're going to do so I can kind of come up with my
All
set.
right. So
Because we're pretty bad, so hopefully.
Here's the thing. I love the trap game, and this feels like the trap game. Like it's just all right. So the Union have never felt themselves like this before. Like this is the most swaggery the Union have probably been in club history at this point.
Scary too.
It's uncomfortable is the word I will use. I'm gently uncomfortable with how comfortable I am with the Union being a good soccer team. It's delightfully terrible. Now, that being said, the Union should win this game, and the Union should win this game in a way that's pretty decently handily. Only because if you look roster up and down, I believe the Union have better players, and I do believe that right now they are gelled in a way, and I believe there's a difference between having a brand new coach and a coach who's been there for almost 7 years. So it's like everything on the physical piece of paper says Union do this 3-1. And then I'm just like, what if Andre lets a weird rebound go for no apparent reason and they tap it in? And what if Miro just gets burnt like he sometimes does? And what if someone falls, and it's just me also being a Chelsea fan, it gives me those well, what if someone just just turns an ankle real quick and then 3 goals happen? That kind of scary thing happens. But I'm more confident than the Montreal game, but still at the same time fearful.
I love that Union fans collectively are so confident in their team that it turns into the opposite of confidence.
Oh,
It's overconfidence.
What
I've
is
gone
going on
over the
right now?
mountain.
You're so confident, but if you brag too much, the gods will hear you and take it all away.
Oh.
So there's only so much. It's like that Price is Right game. You can only go so high before it falls off the Alps. So yeah, it's just this measured sense of we're good, we're okay.
Right. Because the minute you say we're good, 5 losses in a row. That's it. Oh, you said you're good.
Hold my beer. Yeah.
Right. Let's literally have you lose to DC United. That's how that goes.
So Brian,
Hey, we know how that is.
make us feel good. Tell us how this is going to go.
All right, so it's been a challenge this year. You come in with Ron Jans, and then you lose him. You put your interim coach out there through the first 2 matches, then COVID hits, and then you have to switch around with a lot of new players. The first game in MLS is back. We played Columbus Crew, and what we hoped would be our 4-3-3 possession-based style. That's what we wanted to do, the Dutch style, total football. And we just didn't have the players. We got shellacked. Harrison Dunanan can't cover any ground. So we've switched to probably one of the most boring styles, the 5-3-2, 3-5-2, whatever you call it. And we were eking out a lot of games 0-0, getting 1-0 wins and doing well. And I think some teams figured us out. We had a bad loss for Chicago, a bad loss versus Columbus. And so finally over the past couple weeks where we've just gone Saturday matches versus going Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, I think Jaap Stam's finally been able to put his offense in. And you've seen that progress, especially this past weekend versus New York Red Bulls. Harris Medunanin, he's a great shuttler of the ball. You guys know this. He can move to the midfield, but he's also that great, what Matt said to me off air, the great quarterback. He picks up his head and he can see Jurgen Locadia, a burner, a Joe Zhao, a burner, and he picks them out and off to the races. And we put 2v2, and we just didn't score this weekend versus New York Red Bulls in those chances. Of course, Harris had an Olympico, which was astounding, but there was a lot more offense, and I think you're going to see this guy named Jurgen Locadia. He's the designated player that's coming over from Brighton Hove Albion. I think he was in Germany on loan and at Hoffenheim, and I think he's going to be the next Joseph Martinez in this league. But he's got no service. He's had nobody to give him the ball. This guy's literally been going 1v4 and getting no chances. He had like 3 chances this week. He should have had 2 goals. He just muffed a couple chances, and it is what it is. But I think you're going to see some challenges. I think you're going to see a little bit more challenge offensively coming from FC Cincinnati. That said, you guys have a very fast midfield. We have been challenged with those types of midfields that can move the ball around. Harris doesn't know when to step, so you're going to see Frankie Amaya, number 1 overall draft pick, probably found the bejesus out of you guys just to slow you down. But I think I think you are favored, but I do think it's going to be a little bit closer than what we've seen over the past couple months with FC Cincinnati.
So
All right,
trap
Devin.
game.
So before I give my
Trap,
prediction,
yes.
Trap game.
you brought this up, and it's something that I'm sure you've been asked already this week. Do you think Harris was going for goal, or do you think that was a mishit quarter?
So we did a poll. I think there was like 400 respondents on our poll, and it was like 54% was that he was going for it. He was very coy during the post-match interview. I don't think he was going for it. That being said, what a ball, man! What a ball. He's got talent, and it's very unfortunate. Just FC Cincinnati hasn't been able to really utilize him until this past game. He was finally the Harris we've been wanting to see.
Yeah, it's always that. It's almost like the same thing that we had with Marco Fabian with the Red Bull goal. It was like, well, I don't think he really meant that, but
No.
it worked.
Yeah, but Fabian
Zero
says,
way.
Fabian's not shy like Harris. He's not modest, not humble. He's just, oh yeah, I meant to do that. We're like,
Yeah,
no, you
no.
didn't, Marco.
There is 0 chance Marco Fabian was shooting in that soccer ball. There is 0
boy.
chance, unless he has the
I-
balls the size of like just boulders.
But yeah,
Devin?
so as
Yeah,
far
what
as
you
my
got,
prediction
Devin?
goes,
Devin's the
so
negative
here-
one. Devin
Well,
is the
so-
negative Nelly. He's always like, the Union are going to lose like -4 to, yeah.
He is a sobering voice.
Okay, so here's my sobering voice here. The Union are going into this Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, or what is it? Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, maybe, whatever it may be. But it's going to be a packed schedule. They already had a lot of injuries last week. I could see this, like you said, being a bit of a trap game because I have a feeling that, or at least I hope that some of the starters might get some rest in this game. I would hope that Fontana gets a start. I would hope that maybe Bedoya gets some much needed rest. Who knows? That being said, we're not that far removed from the Union not being good on the road last season, and it was a very obvious problem that the Union had. I know there's been, you could say they went on the road against Montreal this past week, but I'm not gonna. That doesn't count. for
Devin,
me.
we had the
It doesn't-
second best road record in MLS last year.
That cannot be true.
That is 1,000%
That
a
cannot be
factual thing that I am
That
telling you.
cannot be
I am
true.
telling you a fact, and this is why it was so amazing to me. The Union got the second most amount of points of any team on the road last year in MLS. I'm
Why
not even
does it
joking.
feel like they were bad on the road?
Because for 9 straight years, they never
Yeah.
won on the road.
And
So
they were
the
better
fact-
at home.
All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe that
trend is-
disvalues my prediction a little bit.
If you did this podcast on September 22nd, 2019, you've been 100% correct, and we could have had a long discussion about this. But like,
No,
literally-
I think that yes, this should be an easy game for the Union to win with the talent that they have. I would hope that they rest some of the starters, give the younger guys some looks. I really like Mitchie's been sitting on the bench all season, hasn't gotten any play yet. DeVries barely gotten any play. Maybe he got a few minutes here and
we
there.
saw a Cole Turner. Yeah, we had a Cole Turner
got his
sighting.
first minutes. Like these young, but like my thing is these young guys have been sitting on the bench and not playing. Like it's not their like we're rotating them in a game here, a game there. Like Mitchie's been on the bench the entire MLS is back, the entire regular season here. We haven't seen a single minute out of him. Give the guys some minutes, and you're not going to tell me that you're not going to sit Wooten for him because you should be sitting Wooten for him. If I don't think
Wooten's
You
got
can-
all the assists
no.
in the universe. Did you
I
not
can't
see
wait
him?
for my turn.
okay.
Okay.
He
Wooten-
assisted with his
Wooten
dick.
and
Did you not see his
Casper-
dick assist
Wooten
to
and
Alejandro Bedoya?
Casper, Wooten and Casper are not the pairing
No,
that
they
you need.
can't be. But Wooten's
Devin's prediction.
serviceable.
We'll get into this. We've
Okay,
got a guess.
so here's
Come
my
on.
prediction. My prediction here, I'm gonna go 3-2 Union is my prediction.
Matt, I finally know, when we played in USL and we played the Richmond Kickers, I finally know how they felt when we played them right now. Holy moly. Let's play all of our scrubs. Let's just throw the guy.
No,
Let's throw
Devin
the
literally
We
Union
just,
belong to
out
the
on-
Dayton Dutch Lions.
No,
Our
Devin
equipment
literally just
guy
threw a
is-
15-year-old
Our
at
equipment
you.
guy plays a hell of a right back, so watch out for
Yo.
Brandon Comiskey.
Brandon
He's,
Comiskey.
Can they beat 10 guys behind the ball? That's all I'm
Like-
saying.
There's
All right,
the
here's-
straight parking of the bus.
I am as a tried and true Philadelphian. I'm worried about the trap game, the Wednesday night trap. I'm like, I was worried like Devin about the travel, but then I realized, thanks to COVID and Uncle Don, we have to have a charter flight. So I'm not worried about the travel anymore because they're finally not on a prop plane from Fantasy Island coming in or the Cleveland Indians in Major League. We don't have that plane. So they're finally going to go somewhere and be rested. And here's the matchup. This is the one thing that makes me believe that we can beat the trap. This is roommate versus roommate. Brendan Aronson versus Harris. Does he treat him like, oh, remember how you treated me like a rookie? Hey, old man, look what's going to happen now. Why don't you go get ice from a hotel room? Why don't you carry your own bag, old man? I think Brendan is just going to pants him any chance he gets. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-1. And you know who gets the game winner, Devin, just for you? The man that does everything but score, Andrew Wooten.
Ah,
I
He
thought you were gonna
comes
say
in with
Ray-
a dinger.
I thought you were gonna give me a Ray Gaddis.
No,
I'm waiting for Harris to go straight Mortal Kombat on Aronson midfield. Just straight pulls a leg out and just like, okay, you're gonna
you
run
can't hit
by
what
me.
you can't catch.
Look, man, I think that's going. I think you might think that works in our favor. I think Harris is just like, I know everything this boy is going to do in front of me. Like I've been studying his moves. There's nothing I haven't trained him on.
Listen,
you know.
he ain't an old dog, man. He got new tricks. All
This
right,
is-
before we let Brian go, Devin, you don't want to do this, but we're gonna do it. I want to
Oh,
get
no.
I want to get
Oh,
I want to get
no.
Brian's thoughts on this, but Savage Jim Curtin was asked about playing in Cincinnati. The quote was, on playing in Cincinnati, Savage Jim goes, "It could be worse. We could be playing in Kentucky." Whew, whoa, okay. And then Jim just goes off on a tangent, goes, while we're talking about Cincinnati and their culture, can we stop saying 98 Degrees is the top boy band? They suck. They aren't even a LFO level of boy band. Wasn't Nick Lachey like 40 years old when they started out? That makes him the Freddie Adu of boy bands. So just wanted to know what you thought, Brian, about Savage Jim Curtin's take on Cincinnati and 98 Degrees.
I'll have to agree with Jim because Nick Lachey had a restaurant here that couldn't even stay afloat. I mean, that's just how unpopular 98 Degrees is in our own town. I mean, geez Louise. Sadly, you will have to fly into Kentucky.
Yup.
But and unfortunately, there is no requirement to eat Skyline chili before a game. So I
Thank
think they'll
God.
be okay. It might get, I don't know, is Casper or whatever his name Greek at all?
No, he's
No,
very
Shabilko's
Polish.
Polish, so we're
Polish.
Very
yeah.
Polish.
Okay, I'm Polish, actually.
Casper
my man.
Shabilko.
Shabilko, Casper Shabilko. Yeah, it's Greek chili. It's not Tex-Mex chili. It's a whole new animal. So, oh man, no, I love the hell out of Jim Curtin. I think he's a great coach. I was always on the Jim Curtin bandwagon, even when he was struggling there. But I know our boy Mike LaHood thinks the world of Jim Curtin.
Yeah, and we do too. I just have one question before we wrap it up. Is it true that the third guy from 98 Degrees works for Cincinnati Soccer Talk?
I tell you what, we had a guy that was singing on the watch along this weekend, but he wasn't doing very well. I actually, I have the power to mute people in the middle of because we do a lot of things live on YouTube.
Okay.
He was pretty pissed off about that, so it's all right. It's okay.
Well, real quick, before we let you go, I had one question, and of course, I'm going to put it back on the rails here with this one. Now, so we talk a lot about, the Philadelphia soccer scene as a whole, when you look at it as a bigger picture. I know we already talked about, we know what the state of Cincinnati currently is, but what's your kind of state of the union of Cincinnati at the current moment? Like, I know we have a lot of talk where we're battling against the other sports in the city and trying to get, it's very limited coverage that we can get, and we get what we can get. What's it look like in Cincinnati right now?
Well, I think you guys are probably Eagles fans, so you'll find out really quick how good Joe Burrow is this weekend, I think. No, what I mean by that is over the past couple of years, the Reds and the Bengals have just been terrible, and FC Cincinnati's done everything right, whether it's been the U.S. Open Cup run, Major League Soccer, we pack stadium. The thing, just like the Sons of Ben, the people have always been there. They're packing the bars on the weekends. They're just like you guys. You go grab your friend, say, "Do you like beer? Yes, you'll like soccer." Seriously. And that's what we've done. And that's why we have so many great fans. The new stadium is going to be awesome. Everything off the field with FC Cincinnati, great. Can we just get the end product? Got the academy going. Apparently, we're going to be signing some guys already, hopefully for this next year out of the academy, so that's great. But the big thing that you're going to see, I think, with FC Cincinnati is how well we shed some contracts this offseason and move towards 2021. If we can get another one or two DPs, if we can keep developing our scouting, instead of bringing European retreads, can we go out and get, that we have a guy coming in named Alvaro Barrial out of Argentina. I think he's like 18 or 19, a winger from Valles. So if we can make those moves, kind of copy what the Union are doing, make smart moves, selling the players on when they need to be sold, like Harris. Great example. A lot of teams have just been like, okay, you're MLS top 11 caliber last year. We need to hold on to you. You guys are smart and said, no, we need to move on and do what we really think will make us succeed. So I still think we're a couple years away, but I think there's a lot of pieces there that are going to be good. That being said, you guys are going to want to travel to Cincinnati when you play because it's next to Over the Rhine, which is a great bar, like humongous downtown bar district right next to the beautiful stadium. So I think this will be the next Portland-style venue in the league.
We cannot wait to come out to visit you guys when that's up and ready, and we have as supporters watching the culture of Cincinnati bringing in your thousands of people marching down the street. We're like, damn, that's awesome. So we're big maybe not fans of your actual team, but we are big fans of what you guys are doing in the city for the sport. So we can't wait to come have a couple beers with you, and we'll even deal with Nicky's soup and sausage, and his horrible Skyline chili takes. We'll deal with that. But no, thank you
Real quick, I just had to throw this out there as my favorite anecdote about my trip to England. We went to this one bar. It was 2013, it was right after I graduated college, and we went to this one bar that was next to an 80s style disco called the Billie Jean, and which I could not. Yeah, that was just it made me giggle for days. But we went to this lovely pub that we gave us the warmest beer I've ever had in my life, but I understood it because it was the culture. And they were like, "Would you like some chili over rice?" And my friend was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I would love some." So she comes back, and this thing is covered in cheddar cheese. And we were just like, "Well, cheese wasn't on the menu." And they're like, "Well, we heard your accent, so we knew you were American, so we thought you'd like cheese on top of it." And I, without missing a beat, was just like, "Just Ohio. Just Ohio. Just them."
Dude, man, nothing's better than that shredded medium cheddar on top of noodles and wet meat sauce.
We did
Yeah.
virtually the same thing and then put it in a bun. So we really can't talk that hard. And so I understand.
Our
I'll tell you
cheese
what,
is
my butt-
runnier.
A little
Oh.
bit, but it's more Velveeta.
Love it.
Brian, thanks so much for taking time. And I want to say good luck. I don't mean it, but good luck on Wednesday. And just keep an eye out for that Harris versus his old roommate. We could probably do a sketch comedy show about.
It's already giving me nightmares going to bed on Tuesday night.
Thanks so much again. Brian from Cincinnati Soccer Talk. Listen, give it a look, guys, because it's impressive what they build over there. Right now, Brotherly Game and Philly Soccer Page and Philly Influence are all like, damn, that's what we're supposed to do. So check it out, everyone. Thanks a lot. Well, again, wanted to thank one more time Brian with Cincinnati Soccer Talk. It really is like we were joking about with Brotherly Game and all that, but those guys are doing an outstanding job about full coverage and access to the team. They've been with them since the USL days, and they're doing what the Cincinnati Enquirer and the Cincinnati Fox News and all that kind of crap won't do. And they're giving full coverage on their team. And they're just, like he said, just keeping the spark flying because, they don't have the product on the field, but they've got everything else that's capturing the imagination of that city. So I want to thank Brian, Nikki, all those other guys. And of course, our friend Mike LaHood. He's Margarita Mike on their podcast. So if you're bored on one Friday evening, you might want to tune into some Mike LaHood on the Cincinnati podcast. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up soon. But apparently, there's another league in across the pond that played some games over the weekend. We have some Premier League action, and Adam, Jurgen Klopp went head to head against our beloved Super Frankie Lampard. And you know who spoiled the show? Some little pansy named Kepa. Can you tell me what the hell's going on? Can we get rid of this guy? What the?
So, look, man, you had to have some weak links. This team was way too good to not have weak links. So I'm just like, look, this is, again, similar to my thoughts on having Jimmy Butler possibly win the NBA championship, as though it'll make the few Miami fans I know completely insufferable. It will make the 76ers recognize their ineptitude in a way that I think if Miami didn't win the championship, they wouldn't have to face. So that being said, I'm taking the fact that Liverpool did that to Kepa in a way to me like, okay, yeah, you're still trash, and Atletico Bilbao fleeced us, and, I would take Theo Courtois back. I'm there now,
Yeah, I want to sue those people in La Liga for fleecing us. Those fine Basque human beings that fleece us for that guy. But it's okay. Help is on the horizon. I am not giving up the season after the second game. I mean, it should have been a 1-1 draw, and Liverpool would have been lucky with that. But that's okay because we didn't have Captain America. We didn't have some other people. That's fine. Now, Devin, this is your week to gloat. You get full gloating. I just have one question. Does your Tottenham Hotspur know that Amazon is not filming them anymore? I mean, they pulled off a big win without the Amazon, with help of Jeff Bezos. How did that happen?
Listen, as much as I would love to gloat here, yes, Tottenham did win against Southampton 5-1. 4 goals from Mr. Son Heung-min, the man, the myth, the legend.
Wait, who was that against?
That was against the premier club of the Premier League, Mr. Southampton.
So, Adam, Son got 4 goals against Southampton. Is that the NBA equivalent of Joel Embiid blocking 4 4-year-olds on the streets of Philadelphia outside of Jim Steaks?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
So
good.
Go ahead,
okay,
Devin.
Okay, so now, as much as I love to gloat here, we are a little bit limited on time. So I will forego my Tottenham talk here today because I want to talk about all these young Americans over in Europe and how excited I am for this UN's men's national team. How much have you guys seen this? Obviously you have Christian Pulisic at Chelsea. You have Gio Reyna with a great goal for Dortmund. Amazing goal. A 17-year-old assisting another 17-year-old for Dortmund there. Great to see. Weston McKennie going out with Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. They're now best friends. They hang out on the weekends, you know. And he actually had a very good game for Juventus. Started for Juventus. Had a very good game from them. This U.S. men's team is starting to come together pretty well. Josh Sargent's still scoring goals even though he's in the second tier of the Bundesliga. You still got Tyler Adams. You still got Serginho Dest. You still got Reggie Cannon going over there. There's a lot of promise in this men's national team, and it is the first time in so long that we can look at this lineup and be actually excited for what is about to come in the next few years.
So when does Michael Bradley come in and start?
I've got 6 words for that.
Here we go.
I wrote it down. Hey, Greg, don't F this up.
This is going to be if Greg Berhalter cannot get anything out of this group of U.S. players, it is an immediate firing.
I'll let
and it is
Brett
going
Brown
to
take
be a
over.
Problem. But here's what I'll give you to supplement this here. Extra Time Podcast, they put this out on there. It was from Matt Doyle, who came on their podcast. You might know him from around the MLS. But this is a hypothetical starting 11 for the U.S. men's national team. Up front, you got Christian Pulisic on the left, Josh Sargent in the middle, Jordan Morris on the right. Midfield, you got Gio Reyna, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams. Your back line, you got Serginho Dest, John Brooks, Aaron Long, and Reggie Cannon. You could say a little bit about that center back pairing, but that team is exciting. I am so excited for this.
I've got a substitution in center back, and I've got a super sub for you, but that's just me being a homer.
Oh, wait. No. But here's the thing. That's still only the second best team in CONCACAF, and that's still probably, at best, the 15th best team in the world.
If Gio Reyna continues to score goals,
yeah,
and Weston McKennie, if he can go out and be a constant starter for Juventus, I think that U.S. win the Gold Cup whenever that happens. They will be the best CONCACAF team. They will make it in the World Cup qualifying, and they will go farther than Mexico, for sure. And who knows? Maybe make a nice little quarterfinal run. I don't know. Maybe,
we've been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yeah, okay, but they couldn't make the last World Cup. They couldn't even qualify.
No,
so I don't want to hear that.
No, but yes, but here's the thing, and here's the thing that I love about this, and I'm all for the United States men's national team coming up and developing. We're gonna act like half the nations of the globe also don't have wonder kids that are also coming through their systems right now and are also developing
agree.
at a high level. Because half of the Dutch's wonder kids are going to Barcelona, not just occasionally Glockenspiel and all these other teams out there. But here's the thing about it, and I'm not even trying to be that negative about it. I want us to have really exciting hope for all of these young kids out there, but also pump the brakes because, yes, Christian Pulisic might be the best American out there, and he's going to be your captain, and he's going to lead this team. And you got Zach Steffen, who looks like he's good enough to be a keeper, but it's just he can't crack Man City's 18 right now. What's up with that? And you got pieces, but you don't have enough of these bullets. Like Germany in any given year just says, pick 11 of these 267 humans. Brazil says we literally have to pick 11 of thousands, and America is just we got 12 dudes we're proud of right now.
You cannot expect the U.S. to go from not qualifying for the World Cup to
Let's
Germany's
be happy
level
we got
in
12
4
dudes
years.
under
Alright, so what's
20
gonna-
years old that we're
So
excited
what
about.
happens next year when the Dutch, who also didn't qualify for the World Cup, make it to the semifinals,
Yes,
or
but
when
they're
the Italians, who
they're
also didn't
qualifying out
qualify
of-
for the World Cup?
They are qualifying out of a much harder conference in UEFA.
Yeah,
you
so it's even
cannot
more
compare.
egregious for the United States.
When you have 90% of UEFA who can qualify for the World Cup because they're on that level already.
How many goals Panama?
it's a little bit
How many
different.
goals Panama
Alright.
score?
We need, for next week's homework, to get Adam from seeing red to Adam seeing some red, white, and blue. That's what we're going to
Yo,
have to
I am
do.
your biggest women's national team supporter out there. I'm noticing Devin's got a national team jersey on and they got no stars on it. So you know whose team that is? The men. Now, I understand that we really want to push these men, but look, man, I want some tough love. I want this whole, oh, look, we got guys who are playing for Juventus. And yeah, man, half of Italy's team plays for Juventus. We got a dude. A singular human on
more
that
than we've had
time.
in a long
we
time.
can't go out on this negativity, man. So we're just going to say go USA.
Go Fusion.
Oh, man. All right, everyone. That's episode number 37, the Eric Desjardins Chronicles.
It was
We
a
do
good
want
one.
to thank Brian Wengel with Cincinnati Soccer Talk for jumping on. Even he says, your Philadelphia Union, roll through Harris. Just roll through them. So, everyone, thanks a lot. And remember, wash your hands.
Sexy